Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel that is Learning and Programming with Chetan. Today, in this particular video, we will going to discuss about method overloading in Java. My dear friends, in a previous video, we have already discussed about overloading concept in Java programming language. So, overloading means ability to take more than one form, which means that same function can perform differently in different situations. For example, in our mobile phone, we have on-off button. When we are pressing this button, then it is getting on, and when we are pressing the same button again, then it is getting off. It means that same function is performing differently in different situations. Now my dear friends, let us start with the first topic. What is method overloading? When a class contains multiple methods with same method name and they are having different parameters or argument types, then it is known as method overloading. In method overloading, method call is associated or binded with class reference at compile time only. That is why it is also known as compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism or early binding. Now let us discuss about the need of method overloading in Java programming language. So my dear friend, let us consider that method overloading concept is not there. Then in that case, we have to create multiple methods with different names. All these methods are performing an addition operation with multiple arguments. But here you can notice that these methods are having different names. So it is reducing the readability of our program. Now let us consider the same situation with method overloading concept. We are having three methods with different arguments, but here you can see that all the methods are having same name, but they will perform different operations. So for all the similar type of operations, we can use same name. So this is also an advantage of method overloading in Java, that is, it increases the readability of our program. Now my dear friends, before discussing about the rules for method overloading in Java, let us first discuss about methods in Java programming language. So as you can see that in our method we have two parts, method header and method body. Let us first see method header. So inside method header we have public, static, int, max. So here public and static are modifiers and these are optional here. So if we are not providing the value of access specifier, then by default our method scope is default. Now here int is a return type for our method, that is, this method should return a value of integer type, and this max is the name of our method. Now here you can see that this is a parameter list inside parenthesis. These are also known as parameters or arguments of method. So we have discussed about method header. Now the code which is present inside the braces is known as method body, and here you can see the return statement which is returning the value of integer type. Now let us discuss about the rules for method overloading in Java. So first one is related to method name. For all the methods which we are overloading in our class, their method name should be same. Second is related to argument type. When we are overloading multiple methods, then argument type should be different. Third one is related to return type. For method overloading, there is no restriction of return type, that is, different method can return different values. And the last one is related to access modifier. In this method we have used public access specifier. For method overloading, there is no restriction of access specifier and it can be public, private, protected or default. Now let us move on to our next topic, that is ways of method overloading in Java. There are multiple ways by the help of which we can achieve method overloading in Java programming language. So method can be overloaded in Java by changing the number of arguments. Second, by changing the data type of arguments. And third one is by changing the order of arguments. So let us try to understand different ways of method overloading by the help of Java program. So let us first discuss about method overloading by changing number of arguments. So I have created a public class with the name method overloading example1, and inside my class I have created two methods. Now if we will notice, then these two methods are having same name area and they are having different number of arguments. Our first area method is having one argument, and inside this we are calculating an area of square which is a multiplication of sides, and inside our second method it is accepting two arguments as length and breadth, and inside this we are calculating an area of rectangle. So here we have overloaded an area method by changing the number of arguments, and inside our main method, here I have created an object of our class, and by using this object reference I am calling area method in these two statements. So here you can see that I am calculating an area of square by passing one argument whose value is 2, and in this statement I am calculating an area of rectangle, and inside my area method I am passing two arguments as 2 and 3. Now let us run our program. So here in our console you can see that we are getting an area of square which is a multiplication of side, that is why we are getting this value as 4, and here I am getting an area of rectangle which is a multiplication of two arguments which we have passed to our area method, that is why we are getting this value as 6. So here we have learned that how we can overload a methods in Java by passing different number of arguments. Now my dear friend, let us discuss that how we can overload a method by changing the data type of arguments. So here I have created another class with the name method overloading example2, and inside our class I have created two methods which are having same name, as we have discussed in our rules that method name should be same and there is no restriction on return types. So here you can see that our first method is returning a value of integer type and our second method is returning value of float type. So inside our first method, if you will notice, then we are passing two arguments. Similarly, in our second method we are also passing two arguments, but in our first method the arguments which we are passing is of type integer, and in our second method we are passing the arguments whose type is float. So here we have overloaded these two methods by changing the data type of arguments. So here number of arguments are same but their data types are different, and these methods are returning the sum of two input arguments. So this is our main method, and inside our main method here I am creating an object of our class, and in this statement I am printing the sum of two integer number. So here you can see that I am calling a sum method, and inside this sum method I am passing two parameters of integer type. So it will call sum method whose arguments is of type int, and in this statement I am printing the sum of two float numbers. So it will call a sum method whose argument type is float. Now let us try to run our program. So my dear friends, here you can see that when I am passing an arguments of integer type, then it is calling this sum method and it is printing this statement, and then it is printing this statement with the addition of these two numbers. Similarly, in this statement we are passing float type values, that is why it is calling method with the argument type as float, and it is returning the sum of two float values, that is why we are getting this value as 5. Now my dear friends, let us try to understand that how we can overload a method by changing the order of arguments. So here I have created one more class with the name method overloading example3, and inside my class I am having two methods which are having same method name as sum and their return type is float. And here you can see that our first method is having argument as int and float, and in our second method we have changed an order of our arguments, that is first argument is of type float and second argument is of type int. So here we have overloaded our method by changing an order of arguments. Inside our main method I have created an object of our class, and here I am calling our overloaded method sum, and inside this method you can see that I am passing integer value 1 and this is our float value as 2.0. So it will call this method with first argument of type integer and second argument is of type float, and in our next statement I am calling our sum method with first argument as float and second argument is of type integer. So it will call this sum method with first argument is of type float and second argument is of type int. Now let us run our program. So here you can see that when I am passing integer argument and float argument, then it is printing this statement in console, and here we are getting the sum value as 3 and it is of type float. Similarly, when I am calling our sum method with first argument as float and second argument as integer, then it is calling our second method whose argument is float and int. That is why in console we are getting this statement, and in this statement it is printing the sum of these two values. So here you have learned learned that how we can overload a method by changing the order of arguments. Now my dear friends, let us discuss our next concept, which is one of the important concept in Java programming language, that is type promotion, and then we will see the impact of type promotion in method overloading. So my dear friends, here you can see that these are primitive data types in Java programming language. So here byte, short, int and long is used for integer type values, and byte is having size of 1 byte, short is having size as 2 byte, integer is of 4 byte and long is of 8 byte. And for character type values we have char data type and it is having size as 2 byte. And for storing decimal type values we have float and double data type in Java, and float can store a value of size 4 byte and double can store a value of size 8 byte. Now let us try to understand about data type promotion. So in type promotion, one data type can internally promote it to some other large size data type. That is, if in our method we are passing a value of byte, then it can be internally converted into short, int, long, float and double type. That is, a small size primitive data type can be promoted to large size primitive data types, but vice versa is not true. If we talk about float, then float can be internally promoted to double type, but double cannot be promoted to any of these data types. If we talk about int, then int can be promoted to float type, double type and long type. Now let us try to understand the concept of type promotion in method overloading. My dear friends, we already discussed about our method overloading example 2 class. Here I am passing float type values, that is why it is calling this method whose type is float. Now my dear friend, let us try to understand type promotion in Java and its impact in method overloading. So in this method, let me change the data type of our input value to long type. So my dear friends, here you can see that it is not giving me any compile time error when I have changed float type values to long type value. So here in this diagram we have seen that long type value can be promoted to float type values. So this is our long type values. Let us first check whether it will call this method. So it is of type int, but we have already discussed that long type cannot be depromoted to integer type. So as per our concept, it will not call this method. Now let us try to understand whether long type value will be able to call the method with float type argument. So here our long type value can be promoted to float type value. So as per our concept, it should call this method. So let me run our program. So my dear friends, here you can see that when I'm passing long type value, then it is calling some method with float type values. That is why we are getting this statement in our console and we are getting the sum of these two values as 5 in our console. So my dear friends, hope that you are able to understand the concept of type promotion and method overloading in Java. Now let us discuss about some of the important questions related to method overloading in Java programming language. So our first question is, can we overload method by changing only return type of method? We have already discussed that there is no restriction of return type for method overloading. So its answer is no, we cannot overload method by only changing the return type. Now second part is, if no, then why it is not possible? So in our program we have discussed that our method can be overloaded by passing different number of arguments or by passing different types of argument or by changing the order of arguments, and there is no restriction on return type, and these methods can return any type of value. Now our second important question is, can we overload main method in Java? Then its answer is yes, we can overload main method in Java programming language. Let us see that. So here you can see that we have overloaded a main method. So our first method is having an argument type as string array, and our second method is not having any argument. So we can overload main method in Java, but at runtime JVM will call only that method whose argument type is string array. Now our third important question is, can we overload private, static and final methods in Java? Then again its answer is yes, we can overload private, static and final methods in Java. So let me make this method as static. So here you can see that we are not getting any compile time error. This is a warning which we are getting. That is because as we know that for accessing an static method there is no need of creating an object, and we can directly access the static method by simply using a class name. We can also overload private methods. So here you can see that we are not getting any compile time error. Similarly, we can also overload final methods in Java programming language. Let me run our program. So here you can see that we are getting our output in console and we have not got any compile time error, which means that a method with modifiers as private, static and final can be overloaded in Java. I hope that you are able to understand all the concepts related to method overloading in Java programming language. Do like, comment and subscribe my channel and click the bell icon for latest updates.